Hello, I'm here. I'm okay. Just want to talk about a few things. Nothing bad. Some of you do or do not know that last week was a bad week for me, starting out on Monday with a cognitive test and an investigation. An investigation for Social Security disability where I was made to focus with my son there. Both of us had to focus on telling the investigator answers to questions about what I can't do. For example, do I cook by myself? And do I have to cook modified? Do I handle my own money? Do I handle all my regular responsibilities like showering and things like that? Just a multitude of questions. Do I have to have help out of the car? Do I drive? A lot of these are already shared with you all. But I don't share them and focus on one thing. I say it and move on to something happy. And I spent an hour with a stranger while he questioned me and my son on everything I could or could not do. And while we also had to describe delusional thoughts that I have where my mind creates delusions. That weighed on me all week. You know me, I'm not the person that's sitting there focusing on the negative. I want to be positive. I want to focus on the little wins, the things I accomplish every day, and what I can do with Parkinson's disease rather than what I cannot. So we fast forward to Thursday, and my son came home, and one of the chickens she had got on the roof of the coop. The wind had blown the door shut. I had checked them before my live, and my son came home just as the live was ending, and he found the chicken on the roof. And he told me the chicken was on the roof. One got out of the pen the other day, and now this one was on the roof, and I need to pay more attention. I do pay attention. And he didn't say it mean. He just said it in a way that wasn't setting right in my mind. He said it very factual. He said, you keep adding things you want to do, and you're not doing any of them adequately. I wasn't exactly sure what he meant, but I kind of knew what he meant. I just didn't want to think about it right away. So he told me, you want to cook and you want to help with laundry to help us out, but laundry takes a long time now, and you're barely, if at all, cooking. And then you added on top of that, you have your chickens, and you have your garden, and then you added YouTube, and then you added TikTok, and you're not doing them all any justice. You're making things worse for yourself and for the house. you're making it harder. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. He didn't want to talk about it then. He just came home from work. He was tired. He just told me bullet points. Now, to know about my son, he has Asperger's. Bullet points are very normal for him to speak in bullet points. It doesn't mean that he was being ugly, and he was just letting me know that he wanted to talk about it later, and he wasn't being rude. But his bullet points started spinning in my head, and I started thinking about all the ways that I am inadequate, in all the ways that Parkinson's has broken me, in all the ways that I am not who I was. And it was very difficult for me Thursday night. On Friday morning, he was off work Friday. That's why he wanted to talk the next day when he was off and had time. So on Friday morning, his wife got home from working a 16-hour shift, and they brought coffee down to me to talk about it. And we talked. And I understood more than what I sent text to people. I understood more. I needed to process things that were said. So I'm going to try to explain them to you. And I'm sorry this video is long, but it may help you. So, things my son and daughter have noticed. I don't walk properly on my left foot lately. All the time. Sometimes I do. And sometimes they say it looks like I lift it and stomp it rather than walk. Like I lift it up and then put it back down rather than a walking motion. I also noticed it. I've ignored it. It doesn't happen all the time. They notice that I try to get things done and I'm extra tired. Something we all know is that my carbidopa, it does cause me to be drowsy off and on during the day, and not every dose, but especially the first dose in the morning. I get really tired an hour afterwards. It's a side effect some people have. So that slows me down because I have to rest. As soon as I get up, I need to rest within an hour again. They do notice I'm not cooking as much, and I had talked to them about it before, and I discussed it with them again. I love to cook. It's one of my favorite things to do. I used to cater. Cooking is a big deal to me. And cooking for my kids is a big deal to me. It makes me feel happy when people I love eat my food that I made for them with love. But when I use the stove, it's a glass top stove. And it has the little burner and the big burner. And on one burner, you can heat up a small burner for a smaller pan or a big burner for a bigger pan. And there are pictures and words saying rear and front and everything, but I confuse the stove. For some reason, I cannot process cooking with temperatures on the stove, and I've burnt mini pans and things, and that scares me. When I bake bread, I leave out ingredients, which doesn't make for very good bread, and I've always made bread. These things really bother me, so I try to take them one at a time, and I've been trying to cook some things in the Instapot, but I can not think of, using it as a pan without the lid, a heated pan. But it's been hard for me to decide what to cook in the Instapot. It's not something I'm used to. So there's the cooking. As far as cleaning goes, I clean. I do cleaning every day, but it's mostly on the surface. Now, growing up, my son lived in a home that was completely spotless at all times. Everything was clean. Swept, mopped, and vacuumed every day, even though I had worked all day, dusted, cleaned bathroom every day. That's how he grew up. That's how I am. So much energy I always had. And I also had a garden. So, it's not that far-fetched from him. For my son, laundry, when he looks at me and it takes me, and I'm putting laundry in a washing machine and a dryer, but what I could do in a day might be 2 or 3 days now. It takes so much longer than that. And my son remembers the days when I had no washer. And we put clothes in the bathtub, and we played together in the bathtub, stomping the laundry like grapes to do the laundry. My son remembers that mom. He remembers who that mom is. My son remembers the mom that doesn't say no to go somewhere, but says, let's go, let's go. When he was young, we would go to, it's like 9 or 10 years old, and we would go to high-rise buildings, and we would go up in the elevators and find the floors that weren't used, and we were finding where would be a good zombie fort. And he would tell me from his imagination where we could hide out and have a village if the zombies ever came. We would take walks. And we would see what we could find out in nature that would be, we could come here if there was a zombie. Those were our games, and we loved them. He always had a cooked food, clean clothes, clean house, clean everything. And living with him and his wife, at first, I would clean the upstairs for them, make sure things were nice. I didn't feel good then, but I was appreciative and I could function. But years have ticked by, a couple of them, almost 3 now, and I'm not the same as I was 3 years ago. We had our garden, did the canning, can the vegetables, process and freeze the vegetables, make their bread, make their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, have lunches packed in the refrigerator, breakfast packed in the refrigerator. It's not something I always have energy for anymore. And I did add YouTube and I did add TikTok, and I love it. I never had social media before. I needed to find people. I needed to find my people. I needed to connect. I had no idea how I would connect, but it's been pretty great. So my son and daughter and I had this conversation, and my daughter's pretty benign about the situation. When I met her, I had already started having the issues that led to gastroparesis, which were the first big major signs of Parkinsons. So she met me sick. You know, we were living in Virginia in Roanoke in 2020, and I was working in 2018, 2019, 2 jobs. I did side gigs like Instacart and Uber Eats on top of that. And I also sold stuff online. I was a reseller. I would buy stuff and flip it and sell it online. Besides having a clean house and food cooked and things done. That's small. To my son, that's small. Nothing was neglected. Nothing was undone. Everything was always done. So while my week was bad last week, being asked a bunch of questions by the investigator at the Social Security, it had not occurred to me how hard that time was on my son. I have said to some of you before that he hasn't accepted this, that he still wants the mom he has. And Thursday night was his beginning of verbalizing that. He wasn't being cruel. He was grieving. Friday when we talked, I'm trying to do this without crying. Friday when we talked, he said, Mom, I don't expect you to do everything, but I expect you to try to understand that you can't. He said, I watch you every day, and I see you text us every day a list of everything that you're going to do, and you can't. You're never going to be able to do it all. Your brain is broken. And we don't expect you to do it all. And he told me when he saw the chicken on the roof, the chicken on the roof was a symbol to him, a finality of his understanding that I can't do it all. After the talk he had on Monday, he said, you want a schedule? And we made you a schedule. And we took things off and closed your business because it couldn't work for you. And we keep trying to adjust your schedule. If you don't feel like cooking, we just ask, can you put something out for dinner? Take meat out of the freezer. At least be able to tell us what's to eat, so what to cook, so we don't have to think about it, because neither one of us are like you. We can't just grab something and make a meal. We need to know what we're doing. We haven't cooked as long as you. We don't care how long it takes to do laundry. We don't care that you're on YouTube and TikTok. As a matter of fact, we love that we see you laugh and that you love it. But what we care about is how you keep adding more and more and more to your plate. You can't keep adding more. My kids told me I can't. It's impossible. You set yourself up for these big expectations, and then you feel so horrible when you don't have everything done in a day. And they're right. In the mornings, when I wake up, I have this mental list of everything I'm going to finish today. It doesn't happen. I take care of the chickens and the garden. I do some cooking or thawing of food for them to cook. I do some laundry every day rather than when I used to finish it in a single day. I do some YouTube, TikTok Live, and visit with all the people who've become my Parkinsons family. I'm not going to stop doing that. That's not what this video is about. I got Chat GPT to help me learn how to try to make a schedule, because I can repeatedly tell chat what's working and what's not working, and I can include everything from nutrition to medicines to exercise and PT and my symptoms, and he follows that. I haven't started it yet. My intention was to start it tomorrow on Monday. That is my intentions, and I will, but I'm going to tweak it today first because maybe I overload it. The most important thing that happened the past couple of days was my son said out loud what he hasn't said. Mom's broken. Mom's brain doesn't work. It was his first time he openly admitted to my abilities and inabilities. And I think it started for him on Monday with that investigation, asking very hard questions that we didn't know were going to be asked, and making us both look at things that we neither one have looked at too hard. Cheyenne sees it. She's a good girl. She sees it. His wife. She sees it. She says it. She tells me to lay down and rest. She tells me it's enough for today. My son and I, though, I think we've been living in some more denial. See, he's the only child of an only parent. When I say kids, I'm including his wife in that, just like she's my own. But he's the only parent, only child of an only parent. So Mom worked, but Mom was there when he was sick, fighting his battles for him when he was hurt. Whatever he needed, feeding him, clothing him, taking care of him, laughing with him, bathing him. Mom was always there, like a super mom, you know, whatever he needed, whatever issue came up, whatever thing we needed to face, Mom was there facing it for him, supporting him, making it okay. And Mom's not like that anymore. And we finally talked about it. Almost a year in to diagnosis, we finally really talked about it. So my son wasn't telling me I can't do anything. My son was telling me that he sees I decline and that I'm still declining. They notice my foot. They notice my exhaustion. They notice me guessing from one day to the next, if we want to go anywhere, how I'm planning ahead for that trip, because it's hard for me otherwise. I have to make sure I didn't exhaust myself the day before, because if we go out, I will exhaust myself that day. Like, they have tickets again for me to go see the Cincinnati Reds with Snoop Dogg, and a couple days later the Cincinnati Reds with Train. I'll be spent, but that's okay. I plan ahead for the spent days, but he just now realized that that's what I'm doing. It's not that I don't want to go and live a life. It's that I have to pick and choose. So I'm here and I'm back and I'm okay. And if you're struggling with the same thing, I'm sorry. Balance is so, so important to me. I want to have balance. I want to have time when I feel like doing things. Grocery store. Love going to the grocery store. Thrift stores. Love going to the thrift stores. But I just basically go by the one that's not very good by the house, just to feel like I've been to a thrift store. Grocery stores, 90% of the time I do store pickup, because I want to save that energy that I'm going to spend in the grocery store for something else. I want balance. I so desperately want balance. My last 5 years have been unscheduled, unplanned, unending roller coaster of what I can do that day. And I know you're the same. And the only thing, I made myself do TikTok every night at 8 p.m. so that I had something I had to do every day, because it's very important to me. And I want that balance so bad. And my kids told me, Mama, it's never Mom, it's Mama. You're never gonna have balance again. You can try, but you can always just let it go and don't add more things to yourself. Don't put all the expectations on yourself that you put on yourself, because you can't even do some, and you add more and more and more, and it's not good for you. You need to wake up in the morning. And my kids tell me, you need to wake up in the morning without a plan. You can have your live at 8 o'clock, and that can be your only plan. But try waking up without a plan. Try waking up and just doing whatever you feel like for the day. And know that it's enough, and you don't have to do more, and that you won't have balance. And that we all still love you. My son told me, please, for me to try to accept that this is not who I am anymore. I'm not the same person. And trying to make it the same person isn't helpful to him or his wife or to me. It makes things harder because I push too much. He just wants me to step back and not push as hard. Just be there. You don't have to have a garden, Mom. It's a lot of work. Just take care of your chickens. Forget about the garden. We can mow it down. Maybe he's right. There's always a farmer's market for fresh produce, right? Anyways, this video's so long. Hopefully it'll help you. Hopefully it'll help you. It did help me. These conversations with my children the last couple of days, they have helped me a lot. They love me so much and they're so supportive. But you know what I am? I'm so hard on myself. And I think it's better if I stop being hard on myself. I do my lives. I talk to my friends on TikTok. And I do what I can without a plan. I'm still going to use ChatGPT to schedule my medications and sleeping time. So I do want to get that right. And my food for my stomach. But other than that, I'm not going to make big plans in the morning of everything that I'm going to do in a day that I'm never going to get done. I'm going to take the day as the day comes. And if I want to crochet all day, then I will crochet all day. If I want to sit out by the chicken coop and talk to all my gingers, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the day as it comes. And no more. And maybe you can too. If you have any advice on how to overcome this, leave it in the comments, please. If you yourself struggle with that balance and day-to-day and denial of your abilities, share them in the comments. Thanks for sticking around like this long. You're a champion. 35 minutes on TikTok. That's a record.